Like I said, I was just looking now. I've only just noticed, apart from Mario Sports Mix, you're actually the tougher rated than I am. You've given every other game
That's right.
score than me. I wasn't expecting
wait
that.
Wait a minute. This needs to be part of the podcast, David.
That's true. Sorry. Don't worry. I'll bring it up.
I'm sure you will. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Critical Arcade Podcast. I am your co-host Nick.
And I'm Dave.
Yeah. Hello, Dave. How's it going?
I'm not too bad. Yourself?
I'm good. I'm very good, thank you. I've been better. There have been days where I haven't played Twisted Metal, but today is not one of those days, so I've been better.
Yeah, I had kind of the same story. I played Twisted Metal once, and I was like, and then I played it again. And you know, it, like I said, I'll tell a bit later that it grew on me. But
what?
We'll discuss that. I know.
Oh, now we need to get into this episode.
Yeah. So, ladies and gents, Twisted Metal was released in 1995 by a company called SingleTrac. Sadly, that company no longer exists. The only other game they made was called Jet Moto, which I've actually never even heard of. I don't know. Do you know it?
No, Jet Moto. Is that also for the PS1?
Yeah, it was. They made Twisted Metal, and then that was actually quite a successful game, or is a successful game.
Yeah.
And then they tried their hand at what I believe is some sort of futuristic racing game called Jet Moto, but never heard of it. Didn't do particularly well. So this Twisted Metal was their main IP.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think we jumped the gun a tiny bit. This week we're talking about Twisted Metal.
Oh, sorry. Did we not even do that part yet?
No, I just ripped on the game and we just started talking about Twisted
Metal.
Yeah,
that's right. Sorry, Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal, yeah. But anyway.
Okay, yeah.
This is a game I've heard about quite a lot. I've heard about this, but I've never, ever played Twisted Metal.
Now, it's the same as me. Like, even back in the day, I used to, as a kid, I remember people talking about Twisted Metal, and I never picked it up myself.
Yeah.
But I remember there was lots of hype, and I was only 7 at that age. But I still remember, especially with the PlayStation 1 just coming out or being relatively new, there was hype around the Twisted Metal game. I remember that.
So see, I was too young for this. I think when it came out in 95, I was 2 years old.
Yeah, I don't think you were quite in the gaming zone yet.
No. So I'm sure there was hype. I was just too busy chewing on my big toe.
Where'd you heard about it then, out of curiosity?
Twisted Metal.
I
think they rebooted the franchise on the PS3.
There's like 4 or so. Yeah.
On the PS3.
Did it go all the way to 3?
Yes. There's a Twisted Metal on PS3. And that is where I know it from. I've only heard of it. I've saw the cover, but that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
Nothing
everybody's kind of seen the cover, right? The manic clown.
Yes, Clown Man. Sweet Tooth.
Clown Man's on he's on every single. I swear he's like on all the covers. You always see him. I remember again when Blockbuster Video was around. I remember when you looked at the shelves, it was the only game that looked like an old school horror movie.
Oh,
you're surrounded by Final Fantasy and cool borders, and there was just this manic like it clown just staring at you. I guess that's possibly why I never picked it up.
Yeah, between Mario and Spyro.
Yeah, exactly. All the cutesy stuff. There's Sweet Tooth just staring at you.
I always thought that Twisted Metal was some sort of. I knew you were driving an ice cream truck.
Yes.
I always thought this was a racing game and you're in an ice cream truck. And that sounded very dumb. That sounded so lame.
Yeah, that's true. That doesn't sound great. That simple description, yeah. Certainly more than that. Yeah, it's certainly more than that.
It is. So this is the first time I've actually played Twisted Metal, and now I know what it's about. At least the original game.
Yes, I think you should always start off with the original. And for anybody who doesn't know, it's fairly simple concept. We have a tournament made up by a powerful being called Calypso, and you have to win a vehicular combat tournament. The last one standing gets a wish granted.
Yes, that is. So I like this narrative. It might be simple, But
No,
I think
but yeah, it's fun.
it is fun. It's fun. It's simple and it's fun and it's entertaining.
And I'd add a little fact that Calypso was actually in Greek mythology. She was a female a nymph who could actually grant such wishes.
Oh wow!
Changing her
Okay.
fates. So they actually Calypso is a genuine being of Greek mythology.
Wow. So this
I
is
add
slightly
in there.
based on real mythology.
Ever so slightly based on Greek mythology.
It does track with some of the other characters in this game, which I'd like to talk about a bit. What I think brings a lot of color to this game is the characters and their vehicles that you could play as. Yeah, I think that was or is my favorite part of this entire game.
Completely right. No, I agree entirely. That was actually, like I said before, I played the game for like an hour and I was like, okay. And then, like I said, when I did I guess I was more in the zone, a proper deep dive, it was the characters and the characterization that got me more invested.
Wow, that's very interesting. When some context can turn some gameplay fun.
Oh yeah, no, exactly right. And I'm because I've got, like I said, I think I've said before, I'm kind of an RPG person. Story is far more important to me than anything else. So it gave more gravitas to the carnage and the combat, knowing that there was a story behind it, and and a reasoning for these things. That just adds another layer, which I didn't think was there when I started playing the first time.
And even though if it's a story that you somehow make up in your head, the only story in this game is there's a tournament and all these different characters are part of the tournament. But the what's the word? The progression through this tournament, who ends up winning, that's entirely up to your gameplay. There's no dialogue. There's no cutscenes. Yeah.
But no, nothing like
that.
But
you make it up in your head, and that makes it somehow a lot more fun.
No, exactly, and that's it's one of the best things about the escapism of games is that you can pretend it's the same universe, or like you say, you take a character that you relate with, and then you make yourself that character whilst you're playing. It's one of the more fun aspects.
Speaking of the characters, which one was your favorite? Which did you play with?
Well, it's so hard because there's such good stories that I can't let slip because it's so much spoilers.
What? Spoilers?
Have you? Yeah.
No, I've read all that, but I don't think it's spoilers. I think we can talk about those characters. They're massive fun.
Yeah. Have you read the endings of each?
What?
Oh.
What do you mean? No, Nick, don't. What do you mean? What do you mean?
My
endings?
Words. Oh my word! I just
endings.
There's only like 6 levels, right? The final level and stuff. When you win, and you get your wish granted.
Yes.
Those endings are or one of them is insane.
What? I've never finished. I've only gotten to the 3rd level. I've never finished the tournament. Won a tournament.
No, that's I had the same problem, but I did first time round, and I actually pushed through it. And damn.
No, okay. No, stop. Now, okay. But first of all, before we get to that, I need to know this is gonna happen. Let's just go through these characters because I'm in love with all of them.
No, the characters were fun, no doubt. Go on.
We've got Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, of course, the manic ice cream truck driving
poster
clown.
boy.
Yeah.
He has got a very different mask in this game than he does eventually.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually looks a bit funny. It looks very PS1.
Yes. Yeah, no, yeah. It is very PS1. It's very bad printing Ronald McDonald type face.
But he's just a legitimately insane person driving an ice cream truck.
Yeah, 100%. That's his backstory. An insane person driving an ice cream truck.
After him, we've got Yellow Jacket.
Yes.
Who is just his backstory is he's a cab driver.
Yeah. He's a cab driver?
He's a cab driver.
Did you not get any further?
No.
He's a cab driver. There's more. He's a cab driver trying to find the whereabouts of his son.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I forgot about that. He's the cab driver looking for his son, but he's still Just a
He
cab
is just
driver.
a cab driver. Yeah, that's right. He's no training or anything like that. He's just a New York cabbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's go on. Who else?
Next up, I'm going through all of them, by the way.
Go on.
We've got Darkside.
Yes, of course.
This guy.
Big old.
This guy. Mr. Ash, did you read his bio?
I did, yeah.
I could not believe, after we have asylum escapee and retired sunless cab driver, we have got
That's right.
legitimately somebody that came from hell.
Yes, correct. Mr. Ash.
Mr.
Yeah.
Ash. And this jump is so insane. I can't believe it. The two normal guys that you can get, and then a demon.
Yeah, why not? Why not just chuck that in the mix?
Yeah,
Because,
and he brought his truck from
sense.
hell as well.
Yeah, yeah, of course. What else do you think they're driving down there?
I don't understand.
Yeah, of course it's like a diesel guzzling truck. It's fairly common. But yeah, I know they went with their imagination a bit on the characters.
And I love it.
Yeah, that's true. If you're going to play a game, it's a game for a reason. It's supposed to be.
Next up, we've got
In most
Outlaw,
cases.
who is a policeman.
Yeah, standard hero.
His name is Carl Roberts, which is probably the most average name.
That's true. So it's like the name of your accountant, like Carl Roberts. Yeah.
Yes. If your daughter brings home a boy called Carl Roberts, you'll be fine.
That's true. Yeah, nothing to worry about. He's about as vanilla as they come. I'm sure.
Yes. After Outlaw, we've got Thumper, who is I don't want to say pimp, but I'm gonna.
Oh yes, I know what you mean.
But I'm gonna say pimp.
Yes, if you look at what he's driving.
Yes, he's driving.
He's definitely a pimp.
It's a pink lowrider.
Yeah, like a 1980s pimp from
yeah.
Starsky and Hutch type.
Yes. After pimp, we've got this one. I thought was also interesting. We've got a couple of average Joes. We've got some interesting folks like Sweet Tooth. We've got the absolutely insane Darkside. Another one that I thought was quite fun and interesting was Crimson Fury.
Oh yeah.
Driven by Agent Stone.
That's right. No, I'm just trying to picture it in my head now. Yeah.
Crimson Fury. He's the super spy man.
Yes, correct.
He's got this. He's got this James Bond-esque jingle that plays.
No, exactly. That he is definitely built around Secret Service, James Bond type.
And this is they are having a ball coming up with these characters.
Yeah, no doubt, they really did. This is where they had a lot of fun. Yeah.
We've got the military duo Pit Viper.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And Warthog.
Yeah.
Which I think
one of those.
Yeah.
Is that the one that one of them drives
the Humvee?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Commander Mason. He's got that. Which are two military vehicles. This is an American game. You need to add some military.
Yeah, of course. You've got to add that patriotism in there somewhere.
Oh, this one. I can't. Mr. Grimm, which is just man on a bike.
Yes, but that was funny. Every time he was on the levels, he was funny.
You're driving against a truck, an ice cream machine, and a Humvee from the military, and man on a bike.
Well, that's like I said. That seemed like for comic relief.
It did.
More than anything else.
Although his bio said he's somewhat of a collector of sorts, which is very mysterious. And let's see here. Here you go. A collector of sorts. Tonight he will claim the one item that has eluded him for years. They are
that's
very
catchy,
hard.
right?
It is. I like it.
You want to know what he's been trying to collect.
You do.
And that's why you had to complete the game,
I need to read his bio. It says his bike is a fast, highly maneuverable chopper built to go the distance. Besides handling, this vehicle carries a weapon, quote unquote, from the other side.
Oh.
It's so cool. It's so cool.
Such gravitas. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Next up, another just insane addition is Spectre, who is a ghost.
Of course.
That is it. He is a ghost. You've got a demon. You've got a man on a bike.
Yeah. Psychopath.
Pimp.
These are a good cross section of the human race right there.
And Ghost. Ghost Man, Scott Campbell. Before I get to my absolutely favorite one, here we go. There is Roadkill. Pieced together from many junkyard hulks, Roadkill is a heavily armored demolition derby on wheels.
Yes, I remember that one, yeah.
Captain Spears is a man filled with regret. He's competing in Twisted Metal in hopes of recreating the past in which he's currently living.
See? Begs so many questions.
Questions.
It's like reading the blurb of a book, yeah.
I am in love. But I think my absolute favorite addition, I love it, is Hammerhead. Hammerhead is literally just a monster truck, right? Driven by Dave and Mike. Dave and Mike are high school dropouts. That is it.
Yeah. Wow. You don't really care much about their scenario, do you?
No, but it's insane that it's a monster truck driven by two bros.
Just bros.
Yes, essentially. And it's so good. I had to go through each and every one of those because everyone needed to be a part of this roster, which
no doubt
is frankly the best.
Well, I've got to, like I said, you can cut this out if you want to, but I have to share the ending of one of those for you.
I'm not going to cut this.
Okay, and this is why. Now there's an ending for each of them. It's kind of like, it reminds me, did you play Tekken and, Mortal Kombat and stuff?
So,
you played those games, right?
I know of the mechanic you're talking about. You go through this, you pick a character, you move through the ladder, and after about the 10th fight, you face a boss of some sorts.
That's right.
And then you get a conclusion to the character arc.
Yeah. And that's kind of what draws you into trying to play each character because you want to see what actually happens.
Right. I didn't know that this game had this.
Yeah. Okay, like I said. Now, my favorite, because I picked Charlie, the cab driver. I think his name was Charlie or something like that, right?
Yes. Yellow jacket type.
Yeah, yellow jacket. Okay. And I picked him because I thought, crazy taxi. I thought, why not? Right? So I go through his story and he's looking for his son. So you go through, we'll talk about the levels and stuff later, so you finish it up. Okay, and at the end, you get your wish.
Yes.
So, sorry, his last fight, the last fight was against Sweet Tooth.
Okay.
The iconic crazy clown.
Yes.
And then the cabbie gets his wish and says, I want to know where my son is. I need to reunite with my son.
Yes.
And Calypso says, what do you mean? You were just reunited with your son. You just killed him in the last round.
No!
His son is Sweet Tooth.
What?
I know. And it was that storyline that made me have to play some of the others because I was like, whoa.
Whoa.
That's harsh. That is so harsh.
That is good.
So he killed his own son in the last round of the tournament trying to find out the location of his son.
I'm sorry, is this a PlayStation 1 game?
I know, right?
Cars smashing into cars.
Yeah, this is like Game of Thrones level of like harsh.
I like this. This.
I can understand why the hype was, because I'm guessing the hype was more the story than it was.
I guess so.
The rest of the game. Yeah.
You could play this for an entire weekend. You could just get your buddy. You could just get Steven over. You and Steven see how many endings you can get. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, exactly. Oh. Yeah. You could. That's crazy, right? I was like, whoa, that was harsh.
I like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why it wasn't too bad.
The narrative of this game is obviously what I think is the best part, and it seems like you think so as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Although the parts that I would say is lacking in this game would be, I don't know, not something that something that is more a part of the the times, right? It would be the visuals.
Oh yes, no doubt. Like I said, I had to every time I do these, especially for PlayStation 1 era and before, I got to put my 90s goggles on. so that I don't, compare it to God of War and all the things that are coming out now. But then I always look up to see what else released that year, just to see if it did poorly or not.
Ooh,
and the same year, Tekken 2, Mortal Kombat 3, and Suikoden came out.
Okay.
Which are all pretty high-level, well-known PlayStation 1 games. And
I haven't played any of them.
You've not played any of them?
Listen.
Oh, well, granted. So, sorry, I just realised you were 2.
Yeah.
That kind of gives you an out. Like I said, and those graphically comparatively, the graphics, it's not right. They're poor graphics compared to even just the general graphical bar that PlayStation 1 put out there. Yeah. Like I said, the graphics on this, they didn't... They neglected this area, I'd say.
Would it not be due to there being a lot more things happening on screen, though?
Well, it's...
At some point, there are pedestrians shooting at you that you could also run over. There's a lot happening on screen.
There is. There was. And I can't. I'll give you full credit. I can't hugely remember what was going on Tekken 2 and Mortal Kombat 3, but I know Mortal Kombat 3 still had the fatalities, the movement in the background, like the old classic. I'll give you that this probably did have more like input mechanics and things going on the screen, but for what it was, the graphics were, I don't know, clunky, like chunky.
Got it.
They could have smoothed it over a bit, in my opinion.
Yes. Okay.
What did you think?
No, I think the visuals. Besides, I think the only redeeming factor of the visuals of this game would be that they did make each vehicle in this game look distinct.
Yeah, that's true.
There's not a huge difference between a cab and a police car. And maybe a lowrider. They're all just cars.
Mm-hmm.
But even on these PS1 graphics, they managed to make them look distinct, and that might just be due to like the colors that they were made. But still, that's visuals.
Yeah,
and I did appreciate that they assigned a singular color palette
to each one.
To each one, and they stuck with it. So I think that is one redeeming factor, but that might be the only redeeming factor.
I must admit, I'll have to put it out there. I'm also a Carmageddon fan. That was my childhood, so I'm a bit biased because that came out just 2 years later. And ironically enough, and I didn't know this, and I'll give them credit, Twisted Metal must be its spiritual successor, because a lot of the same tropes, the cab driver, the black truck, the monster truck are all in Carmageddon too. The exact same cars. Yes, it was Screwy Louie in Carmageddon. But yeah, maybe it was David Mike's son or something. But yeah, it's still the same cars though, almost identical. The same types of cars are found in Carmageddon and Twisted Metal, so they must have had inspiration from it to some degree.
Well, then I'm glad to announce that we have got Carmageddon on our list, our massive shiny list.
Yeah, we better.
Yeah, we do. Game. Critical OK, tell your parents.
And we want to go to audio?
Yes. So, besides the visuals, I think the audio was also not super great.
No.
There was a lot of noises going on and no music.
Yeah, that's right. It had a good intro song.
It had got an intro song.
Intro
the intro video had a song.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. Like any music just became, well, not even secondary, became, I guess it was fun with sound effects with your rockets and stuff, but apart from that, it just became monotonous. There was no depth to it. It was there, and then you just didn't even notice it, in my opinion.
Again, my only comment, or well, I wouldn't call it complaint, but the only thing I noticed from the audio that stood out would be that there is a jingle or tune for each and every character.
Yes, they did make. Yeah, that's right. They made an individual.
And each time
song.
this character would come on screen, let's say you're playing as Darkseid, and Crimson Fury would come onto the screen from around the corner, their jingle would play.
That's true, yeah. Which is kind of cool.
It is. It's very cool. I like that a lot. Because each having their own, there are 10, which, I mean, that's not...
Yeah, that's true. That's probably not too many in 1995, yeah. No, you're right. It is a nice little thing. I didn't really... I kind of missed on, but you're right. They did all have those little jingles.
Again, that's a nice redeeming factor I've around the audio of this game. There's no music. There's a lot of sounds going on. Guns, machine guns, rockets, tires screeching, bashing. And then these jingles were the only part that wasn't just noise.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Like I said, yeah, again, my bias has to come in again because I don't know if you know, but in Carmageddon... I know it feels like we're reviewing Carmageddon. Iron Maiden is played whilst you play it. Like, I can't explain to you how well Iron Maiden teams up with car combat.
But that's way better. That's a good.
Oh, it's amazing. It's perfect.
Yeah, we should have played
Carmageddon.
That's later.
when we review Carmageddon, you'll notice it, and it's brilliant.
Any further comments on the audio?
No, the audio was boring and so very little to say about it, really. Like you said, you pretty much got everything. So this is where, did we disagree? Oh, I gave it more favourable than you. Now, like I said, the gameplay, let me just chuck something out that they did shock me a little bit, which I did enjoy. You know, the first level you have is the arena, which is
the arena duel
and small, which is fine. And then the second level you get like, I don't know, roads in a city block type, you know, the square you go around between.
Yes.
And when I was getting there, I was getting, okay, this is starting to get a bit boring. But they actually start to amp up the levels design as you further on in the game.
They do?
Yeah. Do you know that the last fight, you're on the rooftops of skyscrapers.
What?
Yeah, they really do. The first ones get generic, and every time you pass a level, the next level actually gets pretty more like progressively badass.
But that's cool.
And the first time I saw that, I was like, whoa! I didn't expect the last fight to be, you know, on rooftops. That was cool. You can't sadly knock people off, but that was pretty cool.
This game is just living on the rule of cool.
Yeah, it really is sitting on that edge.
It can have subpar visuals, audio, gameplay, whatever. If the concept is cool, people are going to be into it. It stays
cool. No, exactly right. But I must say, it lost a couple points. Apart from certain storylines, the last boss you take on is called Minion. And I just can't see those things from Despicable Me. I just see him driving it. I couldn't get that image out of my head. So he lost a lot of his scariness.
Of his intimidation.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can
there's
see
a couple of minions.
Yeah, just Dave and whatever the other ones. Yeah, exactly. Just driving it. I didn't want to defeat him, to be honest with you.
So, regarding the gameplay, I only got to the third level. I got past the arena duel, I got past the city streets, and then the third one, I can't even remember. It looked like a street, like a highway.
Yeah, it was like a highway. Yeah, that's right.
That's where I couldn't get past that level.
But this is the thing. I found the levels difficult, and it was the only reason it was difficult is because of gameplay.
Yes.
That, like I said, as a concept and as the game itself, not that hard. It's how they built the game that was hard, in my opinion.
Which is weird because these are roads and you are in a vehicle.
Yeah, it should be quite simple, right?
Exactly.
But I don't know about you. I found most of the cars to be clunky. I found it hard to corner a lot of the time, or just do a U-turn or the handbrake turn, depending on the. And the amount of times I shot a rocket and it clipped into a wall or a jump or something that wasn't even there, it was driving me mental. You only have a number, depending on how many pickups you have, you only have a certain number of rockets.
Yeah.
So when you've only got one left and you're going to take that shot and then it clips into a non-existent something or other and explodes, it can be quite frustrating.
Of course.
And you, what issues do you find?
Well, most of the gameplay, I've got to say, I eventually got the hang of driving and just turning, but the layering fighting on top of that, shooting the other cars, bashing into them, that made it infinitely more difficult and frustrating.
Yeah, it was.
I had to shoot them with my machine guns and my rockets, and then bash into them, and I just couldn't. I could not do it.
And the map doesn't help at all.
Oh no!
Like I was looking at that little map, thinking, okay, which one's me? Okay, that one's me. And where are they? And I'm like, what is? It was pointless in the end. I just drove round until I saw someone.
The only good part of that map, again, would be they stuck with the color palette of a
that's true.
Character.
That's right, the little dots, right?
Yeah, so if you saw a yellow dot coming up, then you'd know, it's the cab driver.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That is true.
But apart from
that, it was... And the camera angles were janky.
Oh,
I got stuck in a corner and I couldn't get it out and I couldn't see who was behind me and people were just obliterating me and I couldn't move. And the camera just wouldn't move. It was,
Though, for a PS1 game, I will say it does flash and it does look... look... So if this game is in the hands of someone competent and you just get to sit and look at it, I'm sure that'd be quite fun.
Yeah. Its premise is fun. It's simple, like is. Arena car combat. There's nothing wrong with that premise. But it just wasn't strange enough. Again, with everything else there, this could have been an amazing game that would have lived up and would have even been now a joy to play. But it's just missing out on that gameplay part that makes you not necessarily want to go back.
But I mean, it did leave a lasting impact. Created a franchise. Yeah. And I don't know if you've heard, but they are making a Twisted Metal series.
A TV series?
Yes.
No, it didn't.
They casted... I don't know what Anthony Mackie.
Oh, yeah.
You know who that is?
Wow.
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
He's been cast to play in the Twisted Metal TV series.
Okay, that's cool. I'd watch it. As long as it's alright and not just a cash grab. But yeah, I'd watch it.
It's just so weird because this is a franchise that has not had an entry in, I don't know, almost a decade or something.
No, yeah, definitely.
Now they're making a TV series.
It must have a fan base. It must have a quiet little fan base out there somewhere.
It must.
Oh, that's cool. That's good to know. I look forward to seeing that.
Regarding the performance, I don't have much to say. Just that I don't think anything ran well on the PS1.
No, it's one of those things where you're absolutely right. The games you play are running the way they are because it's a PS1, and there wasn't really many bugs or things to go wrong because the hardware was so limited. Yeah, that's all you had.
There weren't many things.
Yeah, exactly. So apart from that, performance was fine. It performed like a PlayStation 1 game performs.
Nothing stands out. Nothing
Not at all.
Drops the ball. Average.
No, exactly. Average.
But I must say the value for money for this game is something that I do think is commendable. No, not commendable, but something worth mentioning.
Yeah.
This is a game like Tekken, like fighting games, like party games, racing games. You play it for the gameplay loop.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
If you enjoy that, you can do it over and over and over.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? It's got
yes, you can.
Insane replayability.
Especially, it's like it's one of those nostalgic ones. Like I said, I can't get away from the fact it was big in 1995. I remember it made good money. It was a big IP back in the day. And you can kind of see why. You can, and like I said, you can see why it would be worth money to go back to see it again or relive it if it was a game of your childhood. Like I said, it is. You can go back. It's far less like stoic or bland that you'd never pick it up again. It actually does have depth, which you can see people picking this up again and again and again as years go by as you want to refresh your memory about it.
Oh, for sure. And I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, and particularly as it's a series. There's like 4, isn't there? Twisted Metal games or something like that.
Oh no!
I'd be
What?
Is there more?
I think there are. Yeah. I think there are way more than 4.
Is there way more? I wonder if the story follows on.
That would be quite interesting.
Because it'd be interesting if like Cab Driver comes in the second time because he wants to kill Calypso for making him kill his son or something like that.
11. Is that right? Are there 11 Twisted Metal games?
That could be. Are any of them remakes? I don't know if that counts as
That might be. I don't know.
think one of them got remade.
Although I do think best Twisted Metal game apparently is Twisted Metal Black.
I have heard of it, but that's about it.
So, after all our points were thrown into a big black box, it got shaken up and thrown onto the ground. We gave Twisted Metal the letter grade rating of D+, which is the exact same rating we gave Kane and Lynch.
Yeah, that's right. So if you want to have a couple D+ games, you know which ones to pick up first.
I mean, I really like Twisted Metal's narrative.
Yeah.
But I mean, all the other segments just brought it down to a D+.
Yeah, sadly so. Yeah, we're too spoilt today, to be honest with you.
That's
but yeah,
it.
it is.
We are too spoiled.
Yeah, but we have to review it from today's standards. So
It's
you know
tough.
that's how it is.
That's
it's a D+.
Yeah, it is. That was quite a fun game. Twisted Metal.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll be going back to it, but I enjoyed my
No.
time with it.
Nor me. Yeah, that's going into room 101, as they say.
Join us next week, where we are going to be looking at what's this? Our first Mario game.
Our first Mario and Wii game. Yeah.
Yes. I love.
Which
the
is
Wii.
exciting. Yeah. No,
It is very
gotta
exciting.
Love
The Wii.
Gotta love Mario.
Gotta love Nintendo.
It sounds like they're listening. Yes, we love Nintendo.
Yes,
we love Mario.
Please
don't hurt us.
give me back my son.
Yeah.
You could follow. You could follow me on Twitter at It's Time for Nick. You could, if you follow David, he's going to punch you. And
yeah, I do. Yeah, you don't want to follow me.
That's been us. We will see you next week.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, everyone.